John Benton, and I was an aviation electronic technician, first class. Yeah, it was NAS see, NAS was the Naval Air Station. It was on the north side because there was a highway that divided the base, and it's still there. The airport's still there, but the south side of the base now is Naval Personnel Command. They moved out of DC out there years ago, but it was the Naval Air Technical Training Center, Memphis, so that's what the base name was. Well, I was there 5 months, and we started off with just basic electricity, and you know, teach you the theory and basic tools. I mean, meters and probes and so forth, and then they sent us from there. That was just a few weeks, I forget exactly how long, but then they sent us for basic electronics, and we were the first class, very first class going through basic electronics that they taught transistors, because before that it was all tubes. So all the transistors you won't find them like this now, but the technology is so different today. But that's what we started with, and we got a little taste of different things like UHF, VHF radios, radar, IFF, some different navigational aids and so forth we had on the aircraft. And I liked it there. That was a good time. Weekends we'd get on a bus and go down to Memphis and prowl around and hit, you know, there was a place called Peabody's, and it was downstairs in the Peabody Hotel. What was the name of the restaurant? I don't think it was Peabody. It was Peabody Hotel, and they served outrageous barbecue. It was excellent. And I remember the bus rides. We would ride into town, and you go through a lot of farms, you know. And one way we went, there was this huge hog. I bet that thing weighed 600 pounds. And it was like a landmark. Every time you rode into town on a bus, here's this hog out here by himself. And it's something I just remember. It sticks in my memory. And then we were there in the spring when it flooded, and you know, of course, the roads are elevated from the surrounding. Either side of the highway was just flooded, and I remember that. I still have film from that. I used to take 8mm film, took a camera, and all these flooded places. But I also used to go to on my time off, we'd go to the north side of the base, which is where the airfield was, and the Navy Reserve was there, and they had P2s, and the Marines had A4s. This was before the P3s. They had a junkyard full of 50s vintage fighters, jet fighters, and some of them went up to the early 60s, but I've got pictures of all that stuff, and you know, it's just neat. You're out prowling around looking at all these, because they were all training aids, and a lot of this stuff wasn't flying, but the flying aircraft, the Navy Reserve and the Marines, and then I could go into the tower. The tower had a place you could go out on a balcony and kind of watch stuff come and go, and that was pretty neat. Watch the S2s come in and the A6s and whatever else flew in or flew out. And I shot a lot of film of all that too. But back on the school side, I counted about 110 aircraft on the school side that they had set aside for the jet engine mechanics. They had a whole line of A4s down there, and they would go get in the cockpit and they'd do whatever they had to do to get those things running, and the student would sit in the cockpit and start the engine. But they had a lot of aircraft over there that they tow them around, they do sheet metal work on them, They had some World War II aircraft in there that it's amazing that they were even still there, because this is in the mid-70s and these airplanes were, you know, World War II vintage, but they were there. A lot of aircraft that hadn't flown, and, you know, they were 1950s vintage. For me, it was an adventure, you know, because I was always into the aviation history, and you know, I'd see something and I'd go look it up, and then most of the time I knew right off the bat what I was looking at, you know. But and I still have tons of pictures of all that stuff too. But it was a good experience. I mean, I lived in a dorm room with, I think there was usually at least one other guy. I think once or twice I had maybe two other guys in the room with me. But then you know, you walk to school, and now after I left, they started making people march in groups to school. But during my time, you didn't have to. All you had to do was show up and be in your desk when you were supposed to be there.